Hey everybody, it's X, and welcome back to another premiere draft of Tarkir Dragonstorm. We're on a pretty bad losing streak with the set lately, just not having a great time. Hopefully we can turn that around here today. We've got multiple great options in this pack one, pick one, which is nice. Storm Shell and Sibsiger Appraiser are both good card draw spells out of blue. The Pack Beast is really nice for the white go wide aggro decks that are really powerful, and the Sunset Strike Master is pretty sweet for anything in red. I like all these cards a lot. Even Dragon Spray is pretty decent, so there's plenty of good ways to go here. But we'll play the big card draw turtle. It's a pretty fun one here. Very good when you're holding up as a blocker as well, so that's some added flexibility. Pick 2, Teamer Monument, is some nice flexible fixing for any decks dabbling with the Teamer colors. Saga Wildling, also good flexible fixing. You gotta be in green for that. But not bad at all. I think those are the best picks here, just the pieces of fixing. If we started with the camel, the card draw camel, then we could take the Fortress King Guard here to help get that out early. That'd be pretty decent, but starting with Storm Shell, much more likely wanting the kind of rampy mana fixie cards here to go with it. So I'll take the Monument. Pick number 3, Verdant Catacombs is a sweet one for the collection if you want a rare draft. I would rare draft here in paper, but on Arena I don't really care. There's not too much else going on in this pack anyway. It's really just the uncommons here. Rakshas's Bargain likely being the best as some nice instant speed card draw. But that would 100% be a rare draft. It's not particularly good fixing in draft. What's so good about the fetch lands is their way to tutor up non-basic lands, but there's no non-basic lands you can pick up with fetches in draft. Pick 4, Mardu Devotee. Fine sign for Mardu aggro. Also pick 4, Frontline Rush. Card can win the game out of nowhere in the Boros aggressive decks. I'm only missing out on a second copy of Rakshas's Bargain to speculate back towards Boros, so I'm going to take the Frontline Rush here. Alright. Well, Boros is open from that direction. 2 Frontline Rush in a row. So with perfect hindsight, knowing exactly what's going to get passed to us, if we did start with the Camel and then the Fortress King Guard, we'd have an incredible start to this draft. But 2 Frontline Rushes in a row is as clear a sign as any that we can play a good streamlined go wide aggro deck instead of splashier late gamey stuff. Pick 6 is a very weak pack. This doesn't necessarily mean that Boros is cut because there are no strong cards for anybody's deck in this pack. There's 1 Boulderborn Dragon for a deck that has a bunch of globes, I guess, and 1 Bloodfell Caves for decks that touch those colors. Very mediocre pack there. Yeah, so there's still a Kin Guard here, which is nice with Frontline Rushes. These get better the wider your board state is. Take that, pick number 7, and that is a continuing good sign for Boros. Pick number 8, once again, solid sign for Boros. Bearer of Glory, Scoured Barrens for Mardu. Boltcaster even can do some stuff. It's been really inconsistent for me, so I'd rather just take the Bearer of Glory. Pick 9, Red-White Duel with Mystic Monastery, and if we splash blue, it becomes even better. Jeskai Devotee is also good, but I'm on the Monastery here. Underdogs is great with Frontline Rushes. If we get a War Effort, that'll be very good in this deck. With 4 different cards already that can put 2 creatures out off of 1 spell. Another Underfoot Underdogs. Again, not the craziest card by itself. You shouldn't shove it into every single Mardu deck that you draft, but if you're a Mardu deck with multiple copies of Frontline Rush or War Effort, the cards that really benefit you for having a wide board state, then the Underfoot Underdogs goes up quite a bit in value. Very, very mediocre in a Mardu deck that's just playing a bunch of the good like 3-color cards and no rushes or no war efforts, and I generally recommended cutting it there, but very, very good in the decks that have like 2 rushes and 2 war efforts. Right now we're at the in-between. We only have 2 rushes, no war efforts or anything, but I think it'll still be solid here. Pack 2, pick 1. Easy slam dunk Sage of the Skies. Very lucky rare to open here. One of the best white rares in the set, if not the best white rare. And we're a white deck, so we take that. We're also one of the better decks at flurrying it out, because we're going to have a lot of 2-mana creatures in here. Mardu Devotee is another great pickup. Fix all of our mana towards any Mardu stuff. Scry our upcoming draws to make sure that we're hitting more gas. deceptively good card. There's just not a lot of playable 1-mana creatures as well, so it's also a good way to make sure you're curving out and casting something every single turn. I like Adept as well, but Martyr Devotee is just deceptively great. Pick 3, Teeming Dragonstorm is another good way to go wide, and it's one of the better ways to still have a game plan if your opponent manages to stabilize against your Boros deck with a board wipe or something. If you can pick up a couple dragons to go with it, this is your good recurring value over time for the Boros aggro decks. It's another card like Underdogs, Frontline Rush, and Kinguard that make Frontline Rush and War Effort better. Would really just be incredibly happy if we find a copy of War Effort in this draft. We'll take Coordinated Maneuver here, I think. With actually a lot of cards to go wide and not a lot of non-creature spells right now. Pick number 5 is nothing. There's a Secret Praiser, but obviously not the deck for that. Pick number 6, sadly, nothing. Wild Ride or Splash in a Strategic Betrayal or a Fresh Start for removal. Pick a Strategic Betrayal. Yeah, this pack was not great for Boros, because we're getting passed from the left now. Getting passed from the right, there were tons of great Boros signals, so I think somebody directly to our left also hopped in onto the Boros train. So we're fighting with them this pack, but pack 3 should be where we go back to seeing a whole bunch of Boros, based on how pack 1 went. I'm low enough on the Sun Shield to just take another speculative piece of black fixing there. Very, very sad about how this draft started, because it wasn't really under our control. There was no way to know that Boros would end up being more open than blue. We took an equally powerful blue spell of Storm Shell over the white camel that enters and draws you a card, and ended up getting really, really punished for that, because if we just took multiple white spells right off the bat, we'd be in such an incredible position right now. So kind of getting punished for something that wasn't even like in our control, wasn't even like a mispick or anything. Just ended up being the less open color. Pack 3, pick 1, Sonic Shrieker, spectacular. Definitely splash that in off double Bloodfell Caves and a Mardu Devotee, and if we're lucky, we might get another Devotee. This one's not going to wheel, but the person on our right could pass us one. Shrieker, the best of these 3 Mardu uncommons. Pretty sick to open up 3 of them. They're all pretty good spells, but Sonic Shrieker's fantastic. And it plays really well with our Teeming Dragonstorm as well. Pack 3, pick 2. I like how the Dawnbreaker fits at multiple slots on the curve, being our 2-mana or 5-mana play, and it gives us another way to pick up the Teeming Dragonstorm, which is great. So I like that, primarily over Narset's Rebuke here. Pick 3. No War Effort, no Mardu Devotee. Kind of sad how this draft is shaping up in the end. Just going to be a decent Mardu deck and not a great one like it looked like it would be. Just a Fleeting Effigy or a Bearer of Glory here. I think I'm still low enough on non-creatures to take another Coordinated Maneuver. As filler as it is. Wow, okay. Sonic Shrieker and Static Snare in this pack? Jeez, I'll take another Sonic Shrieker. Pick 5. Rebellious Strike and Caustic Exhale are quite fine here. I have the Caustic Exhale. We're getting relatively deep on this Black Splash. Osseous Exhale is pretty good, but I need a lot more creatures still, so I'll take the Feral here. I just did the count up. We're at like 13. Yeah, that's 14 now. I'd like to be at 15 to 17 to be pretty aggressive. Ooh, Quarry Mountain Stalwart's an excellent pickup. Draining our opponent for 2 life every time we flurry. This might be the best Skyrider deck that I ever draft. Usually Bear of Glory is just more consistent, but 2 Dragonstorm, 3 Underdogs, 2 Frontline Rush, some Endure. All those cards going to the sky. It's pretty cute. As is Debilitating Current. I like that a lot better than Devoted Duelist. Another Underfoot Underdogs. 0 war effort in the draft pod makes me really sad. Somebody, probably some other Boros player, opened it up. But like 1 copy of war effort would go pretty hard in this deck. I'm not going to play an artisan. Probably not playing the strike either, but definitely not playing the artisan. Okay. Second pack went a lot better than it looked. Or the third pack went a lot better than it looked like it was going to go. We've actually got a really reasonable Boros deck here. The 2 frontline rushes also as our 2 mana creatures. So 15 creatures plus 2 copies of frontline rush plus a copy of Teeming Dragonstorm is 18 creatures. Super more than enough. We'll cut 1 of the underdogs, I think. Yeah, Dawnbreaker also 2 mana creature. There we go. This is the actual creature curve. 2 cuts. I kind of want to play 17 lands. I've got 4 very powerful 5 mana cards. I'd like to cast them on turn 5 more often than not. Strategic Betrayal feels really, really narrow. Our opponent has to have just like a single creature on board for it to be good. Kind of like the combat tricky nonsense with our wide boards. I'm going to play the Seize Opportunity. And we'll just go a lot lighter on black. I'll play Rebellious Strike over Exhale too. For super easy mana. 17 white cards, 12 red, 3 black. 8 white sources, 8 red sources, and 4 black right now. Sounds good to me. I think I could cut a red for a white, because white gives us the Devotee as well. And white is actually quite a bit deeper than red. Sure. Or cut a black for a white is also an opportunity, but we'll run it like this. Solid looking Mardu aggro deck with a ton of great dragons at the top of the curve. Seems sick. Yeah. The non-creature spells are pretty mediocre here. Not getting a single copy of War Effort also makes all of our underdog kind of cards a little closer to the filler end than we'd want them to be. But they still kind of pop off with Frontline Rush in the right hand, make the coordinated maneuvers better. I think the biggest weakness of the deck, though, is the non-creature spells are kind of mediocre here. Double coordinated maneuver, Osseous Exhale, Seize Opportunity kind of stuff, instead of like War Effort and really good removal like the Static Snare and Molten Exhale and stuff like that. But still looks like a pretty solid deck. At the very least, should probably be able to get us a better run than yesterday, but we'll see how it all pans out for us as we hop into the gameplay. Here we are on the play for game 1. Unkeepable hand. Only 1 creature in it, and it's uncastable because there's no red source here. It's black and white. The coordinated maneuvers do nothing. Even if we had the 1 creature on board, they'd do close to nothing. It's keepable, but awkward. Kind of slow. Let's see, 1, 2... Sure, I'll keep current as the potential 3-drop here. Make sure I have some interaction. Sage of the Skies is the draw. I enjoy that a lot. The odds of drawing 2 lands in a row are really low here. But if I do, I can double spell off Sage plus Devotee, which is kind of sick. That's just not going to happen. We'll play the Devotee. No! Well, womp womp. Played the Devotee instead of the Kinguard there because we did not have a third. They don't have blue or black on board. I'm actually going to current this Devotee. Keep them off mana here. Anyways, I played Devotee over the Fortress Kinguard because if I didn't, I couldn't confirm that I'm playing a 3rd land on turn 3 because we didn't have a 3rd land in hand. So I needed to make sure we had one on top coming up. Tempest Hawk, what is going on today? Not once have I seen anybody play that card, and then today, it's been twice in a row now. In the 5-color deck, too? Well, you can play whatever you want alongside Surrock, and Surrock's gonna win you the game, so. Ah, tap land. Oh, tap land. Once again, only 2 copies in their deck? Okay. Well, here's my 2 copies of Tempest Hawk, but mine have bigger booties and lifelink. We're gonna have to do a little bit in this deck. Murma's Routine. Find their blue source, have full 5-color. Nope, no blue. So they're 4-color. They could be on Crater of Behemoth here. Going for more green. So that's kind of sketchy. Can you get an unblockable lifelink attack in every turn now? Earth Carver, okay. If they have a Crater of Behemoth, we just die. There is no way to play around it. If we draw into Frontline Rush, I think they kind of just insta-die. Roamer's Routine, ramp again. Play any bomb they manage to draft. Pray it's not creative. Oh my god, what a draw. Show me what it is. It could be nothing. It's an insane draw, though. Pick up the Dragonstorm, too. It was another Earth Carver. Okay, that's still a pretty good card, so. Storm Plane Detainment. Not my underdogs, no. No. Goodbye, underdogs. Hello, Frontline Rush? No. Ooh. Welcome back, underdogs. Do we think our board is wide enough yet? Are they even running an island? They've double ramped and never picked it up. No, they're not. Jeskai Monument, no island. Some major, just pure fixing stuff going on over there. Could you imagine a war effort on this board for +1/+0 to everybody? What did this poor goblin ever do to you? Not again. Goodbye, underdogs. Hello, bearer of glory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they block all those, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 get in times 2. 7 times 2 is 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's lethal. Jesus Christ. Whee! Well, that was absolutely silly. We start things off 1-0, head into game 2. Here we are on the draw for game 2. Got our best rare again, so that's certainly a keep. Shock Brigade to start things off from our opponent. The mirror match where they are on the play. So that is not ideal, but the hand is pretty ideal. Go to 19. Drop a Mardu Devotee, scry 2. Super good opener from them. Devotee Brigade and Molten Exhale, that is a very efficient start. Here's the Stalwart, our chunkiest blocker, that can also start gaining us some life if it sticks around. They stole my war effort. Okay, that is terrifying amount of damage here. Obviously incredible in Boros. Go wide like this. There's the coordinated maneuver for it. That feels good. If I double spell, I gain a little bit of life. But I have to cast Frontline Rush to double spell. Don't really want a Frontline Rush on this board. You know, it's not terrible to Frontline Rush on this board. The part that's the most disappointing about it is then I don't have the 2-drop to try to double spell with Sage of the Skies anymore. And it feels pretty important to have that in case we top deck a land. Play these two together. Okay, Battle Priest is actually pretty bad for me here. Could have made the 1/1 to try to eat the Brigade, but again, the Sage play is too big. Yeah, and here's the Sage play. Drain for 2, double lifelinker. I could +2/+1 both of the lifelinkers next turn. That would also be pretty nasty. Sure, static snare to exile whatever they want here. Get rid of one of the lifelinkers. It's pretty bad. Super efficient hand. They just dump it all out this turn. We miss a land drop, so no double spell this turn is quite painful. It's missing out on a ton of life gain here. At a really bad time. Okay, they're not going to double block the Stalwart, and even if they do, I can just seize opportunity. Seize opportunity can definitely fight our way to lethal here, I think. It's the blind top deck from our opponent. It's 10 damage on board. It's pretty easy for a lot of different cards to kill us if I don't at least trump this 4, but I think I take the additional 6. Go to 5. Okay, that is the mana to double spell, which is huge. That means life drain from the Stalwart, as well as flying on my tokens. I think this is lethal. If it's not, I die, so I should have done the math, but I'm all in. Ooh, I think it's definitely lethal if they block underdogs. Yeah, it's only lethal if they block underdogs. But I gain enough life to not die on the crackback, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, would have been lethal if they blocked underdogs. Not quite lethal otherwise. So they have to top deck removal to kill me here. And if they don't top deck removal, they're dead next turn. Yeah, with the way that combat math added up, I think it was right to attack all here. There's a block that they could make that gives us the kill right then, and their other block doesn't even kill us on the crackback unless they top deck removal or burn. Go to 3. And there's the concession from our opponent. That's 2-0 heading into game 3. On the play for game 3. This hand is awkward because the only early creature is Sage of the Skies. So I don't even want to say it out loud because it's so sad. I think I have to cast it without flurrying. Still a lot of additional card advantage power through double Dragonstorm with Sonic Shrieker. Oh, that's tragic. Yeah, here it is. Dragonstorm Globe from our opponent. And their land for turn. Perfect 5 colors here. All 5 colors, and they are ramping like nobody's business. I would really like to see an untapped land off the top. That would be wondrous. But I can double spell with these two if I don't find one. Oh. I'm not allowed to play the best blue rare in the format against my best white rare in the format because I didn't even get to flurry with it, which makes it actually pretty medium. Ah, yeah. I mean, we lose to River Regent unless we draw our exile removal. Do I have exile removal? Oh, I've got 4 damage removal in this deck. 5 damage removal in this deck. We just literally just lose to River Regent. There's not a single card in our deck that can deal with it. That's obnoxious. All right. Get soloed, nerd. Turn 4 as well, because they got it off Strike Master plus Dragonstorm Globe. That was nasty. Oh, Deborn Dragon. 4/4 flyer. Bad for me. Look at the top 4. 2 into the hand, the rest into the grave. 2 mana, kill my 5 mana dragon. Always feels bad. As do these draws. Trying to cheese out a go wide lethal here. Got them down to 12 now. And last turn that attack also gets us the kill on the Boulderborn Dragon if they block there. Alright. One card in their hand. If that card's a land, we've got a chance here, but them holding means it isn't. So we probably don't. Is it more removal? Wow. Alright. No shot then. If it wasn't also removal, then this turn we coordinate and maneuver the dragon, attack with everybody on the ground, and then just chomp the River Regent. It's so silly. I don't have enough white mana to play Frontline Rush and double maneuver. 5. I have to hardcast Feral. That doesn't win though. If I hardcast Feral, I can chump block Regent and die to Boulderborn Dragon. I think we were one removal spell from winning this game. If they just had one less removal spell here, then I'd have 4 creatures. I blow up Dragon, hit with everybody on ground. I've got a Sage here. I had the Frontline Rush too, so I might have even had lethal this turn. That's irritating. 2-1 it is, heading into game 4. Here we are on the play for game number 4. No creature till turn 3. Definitely a slow start here, but we're on the play. Playing against Obzon so far, there's Delta Bloodflies, which is generally super bad, but if they have a ton of +1/+1 counter synergies, it can do a little bit of something. Thoughtseize from our opponent, which does put a counter on that Bloodflies. Pretty nasty. What do they get rid of? An underdog, sure. I'll play the other one, and then double spell next turn. Champion of Dusthon hits the board. Rebellious Strike to trade up into that. And I can double spell with or without doing that. Got Snakeskin Veil for 1 green. Still need 1 green mana card to think of here. Gross. Well, there's the first time for everything. This may be our first time to die to a Delta Bloodflies. No attacks, though. Oh, lovely. Hexproof Indestructible Blocker has arrived. Sonic Shrieker was our best draw off the top, because now we can start attacking them in the sky instead. Plus I Flurry for the turn. Jeez. Balmy deck over there. Parination and a Carsey Revenant. Obviously the Carsey Revenant, the lifelink is the massive issue on that card. Bearer of Glory is honestly not even that good here, because they gained 3 no matter what. They're at essentially 14. So let's say they're at 14, they kill this and kill this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Puts them down to 8. But then when the Carsey Revenant dies, they get to have a hexproof, indestructible, flying Death Touch lifelink 4-power creature. Grief. Yeah, that's not gonna be worth it, because then they just make absolute god among creatures. We need to hold off here and hope to hit one of our frontline rushes for a surprise lethal. Not one of our frontline rushes, but not. Block, block, block. Gain 3, they're at 14 life, taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They will be at 4 life afterwards. But the bear's then dead. Shrieker's dead here. The bear's dead here. So they can't kill anything with this unless they block here. So block here, 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 and kill these 3. Take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Survive with 3 life from the lifelink. This were 1 turn sooner, we would kill them here, but now that the Revenant's tapped, we send all, right? Force the champion on the Bearer of Glory. But yeah, now they're at 15. If we don't attack here, then they just hold off the Revenant after we play underdogs, and then when they block, they're at 18, even with the wide board, which is not going to get there. They're at essentially 6 life against this board. Still lots of lethal draws. I'm so glad I'm going on vacation next week. I'm so over Tarkir. Here we are for game number 5 on the draw here. 2-2 right now. On the draw in the mirror match. Such is the way. Oh, not the mirror, they're 4-color with Obzon Monument. It's that Molten Exhale. This card doesn't exist in my draft pods. I don't know where people are finding that. It's Underfoot Underdogs, pass. Another Underdogs, pass. They are stuck on mana right now. Get a nice wide board state for our coordinated maneuver. Bloomvine Regent Ramp picks up 2 forests. Really, really good card to ramp you up. Puts a land into play, puts another into hand, and we know they're stuck on lands and hands. That immediately got them right out of that mana screw. Single-handedly. Fantastic card. I need to draw lands really badly. So I think I'm ditching Defibrillating Current, keeping Coordinated Maneuver here. Hoping to play, yeah, Dawnbreaker this turn. Meticulous Artisan. Gets a treasure token. Tap land. It's the perfect turn to maneuver the Artisan and play Sage. But it's the tap land. They're down to 8. They're still looking solid here. Sibsig Appraiser off the treasure token. They are full 5-color. And they scoop them up. Didn't find where they need to clear out these little creatures. And we'll get there with those little creatures. We're 3-2, at least a 50-50 record this time around. Hopefully grabbing another win or two before we hop out of the event. All right. I want to keep this so badly, but we have to draw a black source, and they need to be a slower deck. This is really good if our opponent is 5-color and we top deck a black source. That's 2 things that have to go pretty right here. Take the mulligan. Literally nothing's castable right now. I need to draw another source for Dragonstorm. I need to draw specifically black for Shrieker, and Maneuver does absolutely nothing for a long time. Okay, this is much safer. I'm still a huge fan of Shrieker, so I'm going to keep that and all the lands towards it. Sure. I'm gonna need to draw another spell to go with the Sage. Because I don't think I'm holding on to Kingard just for that, especially against Mardu here. Should get the 2/3 body. So we know what our turn 5 play is, and then we know our turn 6 play. We're hoping to do Sage plus something else. So we're looking to draw something to do turn 4 as the top deck after the Sage. Let's see what we can get here. Flash Flyer from our opponent. If we draw a little Fleeting Effigy, that would actually be awesome, because then we get to Flurry the Sage this next turn. That's our one other 1-mana play in this deck. No, they drew it. What are you doing over there? Supposed to be in our deck. You're on the wrong side of the table, friend. Oh, God. Yeah, Stadium Headliners are all good. Well, the tap land isn't horrific, because now we have locked in the 5th land for next turn. But it's not super good. That means we're doing nothing this turn. Probably have to Sonic Shrieker the Headliner instead of making them discard a card, which is a little bit sad. Otherwise, the Stadium Headliner can be used to kill the 4/4 dragon later. Down to 15. Bearer of Glory. And the 2-mana Salt Road Pack Beast. Nasty. 6th land is irrelevant. If I draw another 3-drop, it could matter with the Sage. There are 3 really big problems here. Two really big problems. Bearer of Glory and Headliner are both a huge issue. Got Lifelinkers coming up. His activated ability is still horrific. We'll let them sack Headliner to kill Shrieker, and then hope to stabilize off double Sage that now they don't have removal for, and they don't have the buffs to get through them easily. They just have a Molten Exhale for the dragon anyway. Again, where? Where are they in the draft pods? Disgusting. Go to basically 0. Go to 8. Come on, any 3-mana or less spell. Let's go. That's Dragonstorm for me this week. This has been one of my worst. I mean, it's not even a losing streak, right? I'm just at an average win rate, but an average win rate is below my average win rate, if that makes any sense. My average win rate is like 60%, but this week my win rate has been like 50%. That's a pretty huge drop. Like I'm feeling it this week with the Arena Direct and all these Premier drafts lately. It's been very annoying. Yeah, I don't know how you win those games. 3-3 it is. deck was a little medium this time around, so I do think that this deck deserved an average 3-3 or 4-3 run. But I was really hoping that we could rally hard with this one and get it farther to make up for our last deck, our 1-3 with our Dragonback Assault control deck. But it was not to be. We get about the average record you would expect for this deck, I think. Again, it's got an okay curve. It could use a little bit more early plays. One copy of War Effort would go a really long way for this deck. And then the premium removal that like basically every opponent cast against us, the Molten Rebukes flying around, we just didn't see at all in our pod. To be able to play those over Coordinate Maneuvers and Rebellious Strikes and like Seize Opportunity would improve the deck a lot. I think that was the biggest weakness, right? The non-creature spells are really, really filler. The creature spells are good, but we didn't get quite enough synergy to make the underdogs and like Skyrider and stuff really good. They were just okay. But we did have a few like just premium, really strong cards by themselves. The Sonic Shriekers. The Dragonstorms did play really well. We recast them a lot. The Sage of the Sky is obviously super premium. Double Frontline Rush was good. Yeah. There's filler stuff here for sure, especially in the non-creature slot, but this deck was not bad at all. It was pretty average though, and as such got a pretty average record here at 3-3 for today's draft of Tarkir Dragonstorm. Yeah, my sanity is dwindling here. We're in the late part of the format. I always get a little bit tired of the current draft set as we get later on, and I'm waiting for variety draft season. And that has hit pretty hard with this set because I feel that it plays very, very samey in the draft and the gameplay because of how much of a major aspect the two main decks are, which is 5-color splashy and Boros-based aggro. Now, there's a lot of variants of those two decks, but they still feel really similar. You know, like green-based tons of fixing 5-color, or blue-based controlling 5-color, or Dragonstorm Globe 5-color. Those are all like different aspects you can do that can overlap and stuff. And then for the Boros aggro, there's pure Boros aggro, there's Mardu aggro, and there's Jeskai aggro. But despite them all having those little variants or those little facets, if you talk about the broader categories as a whole of 4-5 color and Boros-based aggro, those two decks are like so much of the meta. It feels like almost every game, that's all you're doing is Boros-based aggro and 5-color stuff. So it's gotten a little stale faster than usual. And then you add on to that we've had like a 50% win rate this week instead of the usual 60%, and I'm really feeling it right now. So I'm ready for my vacation. Next week we're going to start with variety drafts that I've pre-recorded because I'm going to be on vacation for a couple weeks. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm going to be playing absolutely no Magic at all until I come back for the launch of Final Fantasy. So yeah, I'm really, really looking for that. But we still have a little bit more drafts of Dragonstorm here. I still have a couple more opportunities to turn this win rate around. All it takes is for these next two daily draft videos to just be like 7-0, and then I still had a 60% win rate this week. Watch, it'll be so easy. We'll see. We'll find out soon enough. But that's going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe. Tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more on your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.